Welcome to the Pure Performance Cafe. May I take your order?
Yes, I would like a shot of Pure Performance, please.
Coming right up.
Welcome to another Pure Performance Cafe episode. I'm still in Tallinn in Estonia, and now we just came out of a session from Jan de Vries. Hopefully I pronounced this correctly, Jan?
Yes, you have.
Oh, perfect. Jan, maybe a quick word about you, and then I want to dig into the microservice topic that you just talked about. But first, who are you?
Okay, cool. I'm Jan de Vries. I'm a cloud solution architect working at 4.net, a small consulting company in the Netherlands. We do a lot of stuff, but most of the stuff is based on the .NET stack, in the Azure stack. I myself am a cloud architect, so I'm doing everything in the cloud.
Okay, cool. And so your talk, the name was intriguing. It was called No Nouns, but really what it was all about is I call it to microservice or not to microservice. And I think you had a very cool quote almost at the end, where you talked about monoliths and then microservices, but you say a monolith is not defined by its size, but actually by the number of dependencies it has.
Yes.
And I really like that. Maybe you want to elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes, what you see a lot in reality is a monolith often does, everything in your overall solution, which means it also has a lot of dependencies to queues, databases, logic. Multiple functional domains are coupled and intertwined with each other. So that's, could be a bad thing. And what you see in a microservice, most of the time it only has one or two, maybe three dependencies, and it does all of the things, in this space. So, as I mentioned in the talk, a monolith isn't defined by size, but by the amount of dependencies. Just like a microservice, not how big it is, but how many dependencies it has. And it should be a very small number for a microservice.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I had my talk in the morning about the pipeline, the unbreakable pipeline. One of the metrics that I'm tracking is also the number of incoming and outgoing dependencies, and I automatically break the pipeline in case the number of dependencies changes.
Yeah.
So that would then actually go according to what your rule says, right?
Yeah,
Keep it small.
I found this talk and this metric quite intriguing because it really helps creating a stable environment from a microservice perspective.
Cool. Hey, so I mean, you help a lot of customers, to migrate, I assume. What are the most common mistakes that people make, and maybe some of the listeners out there want to know?
The most common mistake is wanting to cloudify everything in one big bang. Okay. And it's something I'm most of the time advising against. If you really want to do this, just do a lift and shift. It will be more expensive at first, but that's the only way you can cloudify everything right away. And what you should be doing is, pulling functionality out of your system and providing and placing it in the cloud. So you could start also with containers instead of doing a VM lift and shift, and just have one big container and then pulling stuff out, placing it in smaller containers or in actual PaaS solutions.
So basically following Martin Fowler's approach of strangling your individual services out of a monolith, right?
Yes.
Piece by piece, yeah. That
Yes,
makes a lot of sense. I think you had a very nice examples of I think you used an e-commerce store, right? Your services, and then your service bus that connects everything, allowing every microservice to have their own data store, and also choosing the technology. And I think another very nice point that you made in the very end is you said, a microservice can also be using different architectural patterns, right? It doesn't have to be a container or a function.
Yes, it's something most people market microservices with. So one service can be written in .NET, the other in Java, the other in Lisp, for whatever reason. I don't think this is a good approach. It makes sense to have one software design and staying on one technology stack, because most teams have to maintain all of the services. But you have the freedom if you actually need to. Like I mentioned, in a search service, it might be wise to have an Elasticsearch database or an Azure Search database, which might need a different software design compared to a checking out service.
Yeah, cool. All right. If people want to follow up with you, what's the best way? Twitter, I assume?
The best way would probably be Twitter. You can find me on Jan_de_V. Yeah. I can also be found on GitHub. The name is Jan Dev. And that's about mail is also possible. Which is jandv@4.net.nl.
Perfect. And the slides, are they up there?
The slides will be on a slide share somewhere during this week.
Yeah, I found it because I found your slides very, visually very appealing, how you explain everything. So please, listeners out there, if you're interested in breaking the monoliths into microservices, check out the content from Jan.
Okay,
very much appreciated.
Thank you.